Yo, what up, nyafas? It's your buddy Philko here reporting live from your mama's house. And I like how a lot of you guys write, Phil, stop making videos from my mama's house. But I can't help it. She has a nice apartment. But this video is going to be about this whole, this racist bullying, like at some prior lake. So basically what happened was, for those of you who don't know, a young black girl was sent a racist message on Snapchat, calling her a nigger and all this stuff and all this racist shit. Now this little black girl who was adopted by two white people, her adopted father, I guess that's how you say it, the father who adopted her, the white guy, he's a white guy, made a YouTube video of the racist message little white kid sent to his black daughter. What happened after that was the father contacted the father of the racist white kids, and then the father, those racist white kids, was basically telling him the same thing. You're a nigger lover, you're a faggot, get in touch with yourself, all this stuff. And then later on, that racist father happens to get fired from his job. But what I really want to talk about here is I watched a news clip. I never heard of Snapchat, but I watched a news clip and I'm reading comments and everyone's saying things like, racism is still alive and how do we get rid of racism, it's still here, blah, blah, blah. Well, I want you guys to look into the story. If you want to look into the story more, I'll leave it here so you go look into it. But I'm more specifically going to speak once again about ending racism, but in a different way that I didn't come at it before. The only way we get rid of racism, you know how the only way to get rid of it, the only way we can really get rid of it, is if there's no more, when there's no longer a such thing as a race of people. Whether in science, whether through popular culture, when there's no more of a such thing as race. That's when racism will end. Because like I tried to explain to many people, people hate each other or may not like each other or may prefer not to be next to someone based on physical differences like nobody's business. Usually it's based on physical differences, but it could also be based on mental differences as well. Mental differences that you show as a part of your physical self. So maybe you don't have a problem with white people at all, but maybe you have a problem with a white person who's Jewish and wears a Jewish, the Orthodox Jewish outfit. He's a white guy, you don't have a problem with it, but he's Jewish. He chooses to be Jewish. He chooses to be Jewish, because at any day he could change it. He chooses to be Jewish up here, so he shows it out here, so now you don't like him. You understand? Like being black, that's not a choice. Being Jewish, when it comes to religion, that's a choice. Hebrew, whatever you want to call it, you know? That's the choice, right? So the only way racism or whatever can end is when there's no such thing as race. There's always going to be racism. I don't know why people are so surprised. I mean, it's fucked up, the message they sent, like, you little nigger, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's fucked up and it sucks, but it just kills me how people are so surprised about this. How can they do this? It's the worst thing ever. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's pretty typical. People get bullied all the fucking time. Maybe because a lot of you see the word nigger as like the worst word possible. I say nyaka every day. So I guess I don't see the severity, but yes, I see it as messed up, I see it as fucked up, and I'm happy the father got fired for raising those kids the way he did, because obviously it was because of him and his wife that they were like this. But another thing interesting is that I feel the poor, and let me know if this sounds sense. It sounds like it makes sense. The poor, like a person is, the less money they have, the more likely they are to be racist due to lack of self-satisfaction. So like you could be some white dude, and I mean other people are racist too, just give an example. You could be some white dude at a dead-end job, you live in a trailer park, you make, I don't know, $8 an hour, you gotta eat Spam every day, you can't afford shit, and one day you see some black guy with a white girl next to your trailer, an attractive white girl, he goes in and you see the trailer rocking back and forth because you know what they're doing. You're way more likely to be angry and racist than you would be if you had your shit together and you just saw some black guy with some white girl. Because you're not that satisfied with yourself, so you like to hate on others to make yourself feel better. So like there's some people who look at a famous black dude like Jay-Z, racist people, say some shit like, oh, who cares that he's this and that, he's just a nigger, doesn't matter, all niggers are the same. That makes them feel better about themselves. Jay-Z, multi-millionaire wife, blah, 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 all this and that. Together, almost worth $1 billion, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, he's successful. You're not. So some ways that some poor people or people who aren't that successful or satisfied with themselves make themselves feel better is by saying things like, oh, he's a nigger, doesn't matter. He's just some nigger. Oh, a world record? No, that's not a real world record. He's just a nigger, doesn't matter. That's what a lot of people do, and it actually makes them feel better because once they convince themselves that that person is nothing because of their race, they feel better about themselves and their shortcomings. That's how crazy some racist people are. I'm being real. Oh, he's just a nigger, doesn't matter. Oh, he's just a nigger, doesn't matter. You know, that's just how some people are. So, I mean, yeah, it's wild and shit, but that's just how it is. But I'm telling you people, I can make 1,000,000 videos on this. This whole, we gotta get rid of racism thing is not happening. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be here. As long as there's different races, there will always be some level of racism. Now, I'm not saying it's cool when people are racist. It's just it's really a part of life. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not speaking about racism as in going out and killing people because they're different or going out and hurting people, but making fun, saying hurtful things. It'll always happen because right now we look at someone saying nigger as like the worst thing ever. It's like one of the worst things. Oh, you called them a nigger, that's like the worst thing. In 100 years, calling someone fat could be one of the worst things. Oh, that, there's a fat girl over there. How can you say fat? And then people say something like, oh, you can't compare fat to black, you know, slavery, this and that. Okay, let's talk about Jews. They've been through a lot throughout history. A lot of people crack small jokes like, oh yeah, he was rocking, he looked like he got Jewish curls, or how do Jews wear those, oh, don't talk about Jews like that. They've been through this and that, this and that. Or you can say, I don't like how Jews dress. What do you mean you don't like how they dress? This, that, this, and that. Don't Jews have big noses? How can you say Jews have big noses? They've been through this, and that. So it's all about your level of sensitivity when it comes to this racism thing. Like for me, if someone leaves a message for me like, you're a stupid nigger, go to hell, blah, 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 on my message, I'm just going to delete it and keep moving. You know, I'm not going to run to the news or anything, even if it's in America. Unless it's only way I do that in America is if that person has some power and I want to sue them to get money. That's different. Other than that, I'm going to just move on. You know, it's just dudes mad trying to get at me. It's not worth my time. But let's say if it was my daughter, like in this case, if it was my daughter, I would have spoke to the parent as well. Then once the parent got the way these guys, that parent did, I would have probably paid him a visit for one, but that wouldn't have been the best decision because something bad could have happened which could affect my daughter's future. So what would I have done? I don't know. I probably would have went to the media too. That's like the only option in that case. I feel him. I feel him. I'm not against him. But the whole world's reaction to it, like, oh, racism's still here. It's not going anywhere, people. It's not. I don't know how many times I got to say this. It's not going to disappear. You know, and a lot of people say racism is learned. Well, yeah, it could be learned. I mean, you could be naturally racist as well. Once you start, usually people become racist. It's a possibility that a lot of people start becoming racist once they start, like, once they start thinking on their own. So I don't know what age they start thinking on their own, like start figuring things out. You know, they can become racist. And you can become racist, or at least racist towards a person, over a certain situation. Let me give you an example. So maybe I don't hate Chinese people. I don't have a fucking problem with Chinese people. I see a Chinese guy with a girl I really like. If I'm really mad, I'm likely to say something like, fucking chink bastard. And I have nothing against Chinese people at all. It's just that one fucking guy has the girl I want, I'm mad. I gotta say whatever puts him down and makes me feel better. He's a fucking chink. That doesn't mean I'm really racist. I'm just mad. You know, that's why words don't really get to me that much. Words, it really doesn't. The parent of the racist kid said him and his family tell nigger jokes at home all the time. Should they be arrested? No, I don't give a fuck. If they tell nigger jokes all the time at home, that's what they do. But they gotta be aware. They have children. The children may not know when and when not to say it. And if the children slip up, they should get in trouble, which is what should happen now, because the children obviously slipped up because they're doing some fucked up things at home. I don't think their children should be taken away from them. I don't know, but at the end of the day, man, you can't punish people for not liking other people. It comes down to that. You can't punish people for not liking other people. Nobody has to like you. If they say, yeah, we don't like black people, they don't have to like you. They just have to respect you and keep their hands off you. That's it. They don't have to like you. And in business, they have to treat you fairly. That's it. You're a black guy, you qualify for the job, you do what you're supposed to do, they're supposed to give you a job. That's it. You know, but they don't have to say, oh, black people are nice. If they say, we don't like black people, we think they're ugly, we think they shouldn't be here, but that's just our business, we respect them and we move on. That's it. That's fine. You know what I mean? So, I'm just trying to say once again, it's not going anywhere. Look into the story, it's kind of fucked up, but racism's here to stay. Just, I don't know what to say. It's just here to stay. Later.